Sinisteve.
Hey YouTube, Sinisteve back with another video, and today it's the turn of all my Amiga games published by Domark. About 30 games, something like that, but I'm just going to crack right on with everyone's favourite Amiga game boxes, the plastic boxes, which, yeah, everyone knows. A lot of these you open and they're a right pain. They literally screw up all the artwork. If I can actually get in there to start off with, just open these up and they'll just try and go. But this is probably one of the worst condition ones in my collection actually, and that's hard driving, because the boxes can go a little bit yellow as well. And I do like a lot of these purely because they're arcade ports, and anyone that knows me knows I love my arcade ports. And you've always got a nice picture of the cab on the back of the boxes. That's Zybots. Never played this one, to be honest. Hard driving, I didn't think it was a bad conversion. Zybots, I don't even really remember ever playing the arcade cab either, so yeah, no idea on that one. And this one I played quite a bit of back in the day, Clacks. Now this one, if I'm not mistaken, this game was actually programmed on Amiga, so the port was always going to be a good one. Yeah, decent game. Always quite like Clacks. Atari classic. Then we've got Cyberball. I don't know actually, was this even? I don't even think this actually was an arcade game. Looking at the back, there's no cab, so pretty sure that that's not an arcade game, and that's a really yellow box as well. I'll have to try and get a few more of these boxes. I know that there was some C64 games released in those boxes as well. I'll have to get some replacements. Then we've got the Tenjin Trilogy of Escape from Robot Monsters, Cyberball and Clacks. And this one, License to Kill. I've actually got quite a funny story about this. I thought that this was the last plastic box I needed, and I was looking ages for it, and I actually found a copy in a bundle. It was miles away from me, about an hour and 3/4 drive from me, but I won it at a decent price, this big bundle. And then when I picked it all up, I realised when I got home, because the guy sort of was like, just chucked the thing in my motor, and then I sort of didn't even really check it all, but got home and it was Atari ST. Absolutely gutted. And when I looked into it again, because I actually thought it was a rare game, and it's not, but what I found I was doing, I was spelling license wrong. I was spelling it SE at the end. Went onto eBay, and like Retro Pixels had about 3 of them on there, but I sort of bided my time and got a copy for about 15 quid. That copy, which wasn't that long ago. Then we've got Tubin. Like this game. Love the arcade cab. The marquee on it's brilliant, with like the waterfall. But yeah, another good little conversion. Cool little game. And then we've got this double pack, Pit Fighter and Super Space Invaders. Is it Super Space Invaders or just Space Invaders? Yeah, Super Space Invaders. I know they both got full box releases as well. Pit Fighter is absolutely rubbish. I remember I had that back in the day on the Ocean Super Fighter compilation, and yeah, it's grim, really rubbish. Can't believe I've just knocked the game box over there. This is probably one of the more sought after ones, Star Wars Trilogy. I don't actually own any of these standalone boxes. They all came in like dual cases, but don't own any of them, which is surprising really, because they're not rare. I'm just surprised I've never really picked them up in any bundles. Then we've got Dragon Spirit. I mean, I really should be cleaning some of these boxes up, like things like that. That does bug me. So this is the idea of this. I'm sort of cataloguing, cleaning up, testing what I can. Never minded Dragon Spirit, to be honest. The port isn't that good, but the arcade game is quite good. I always quite like the bombing enemies from below. And next up, APB. Oh, again, I always quite like the port of this as well. I never really liked the arcade game. I I know that back in the day I accidentally put more money in there than I should have done, and it was sort of my lunch money, so I'm always a bit sad about APB. But the Amiga port, again, I don't think it's very well received, but I liked it. I played it a lot back in the day. I just found obviously the collision detection is not that great, but I found it easier to control with a joystick than in the arcade with a steering wheel. Next up, we got Thunder Jaws. Now this game was pretty rubbish. I've never played the arcade game. I don't even think I've ever seen the cab. But I didn't like the game. I thought it was really slow and not very good. But on to Badlands, which I actually did like this one. A game a little bit like Championship or Super Sprint. Again, don't really remember seeing the arcade game back in the day, but a pretty good port, I think. I've played it in MAME, and yeah, really like that one. And then we've got Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. A game which I've never really liked that much, to be honest, but it's quite sought after. It's quite funny how I was after it for quite a while, and 3 came up within about 2 weeks. So happy to have that one. And then we've got the game in the background. Got an absolute bargain with this not too long ago. Prince of Persia. Now I know that a lot of people love this game. I love the idea of it. I just find the controls a little bit fiddly, but because I didn't grow up on it, I imagine if you was playing this back in the day, it would have sort of blown your mind. But I actually watched a playthrough on YouTube on it, and it's not an easy game. Really tough game. Then we've got Hydra, which another one which I think the controls are a little bit fiddly, but not too bad. Not too bad. Frame rate's not amazing, but playable. I think I would have liked this back in the day, to be honest. Right, now on to big box games. We've got F1 World Championship Edition. I don't really think I've ever played this much. I believe it's sort of a sort of spiritual sequel to Vroom. I played plenty of the original F1, but for some reason I don't own it. I thought I did. It's a really cheap game. I'll definitely pick that up again if I see it. Again, very popular game. Really surprised I don't own it, and I definitely had it back in the day as well. Absolutely loved this game back in the arcade. European Football Champ by Taito. Awful conversion on the Amiga. Never liked it. I was so excited when I picked this up back in the day because I absolutely loved the arcade game, but no, didn't compare. Same as this one, really. To be honest, this was pretty rubbish in the arcade as well. I mean, it was quite. I wouldn't say iconic, but I remember when it did come out with the digitised graphics, I hadn't seen anything like it, and I remember I definitely put some money into it, but no, really shocking conversion. We've got RBI Baseball. I've actually heard that this is a pretty good game. It's supposed to come with a baseball cap, which mine doesn't. Had to check though. But yeah, a lot of people like that game. I should really check that out. I don't mind a bit of baseball. Then another sequel to Hard Driving, I believe. Race Driving. Because I believe there was a Hard Driving 2, which I don't own. Again, I picked this one up not too long ago, and I remember I had a little go of it. And I didn't think it played that badly, but I must have probably put 5-10 minutes into it. Now this game, I remember having this game back in the day, Rugby the World Cup, and the reason I bought it is because there was a rugby game on the C64. I'm not sure if this, I can't remember if that one was actually made by Domark on the C64, but I'll put a little, I'll find a screenshot of the case just to make sure. But I remember buying this because I loved the C64 version, but this one does look a bit different. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I remember not really liking this one too much. Yeah, I always remember it came on a green disc. Right, now onto some absolute classics. We've got Championship Manager. This is the first one. I believe this was released around 92. It didn't have any of the real players in it. It was all like generated players. So I'm just opening it up because I have no idea why it's so heavy, but the manual for it is really big. But no, never played this one back in the day. But yeah, nice to add it to the collection. God, these are really building up now, aren't they? See what this makes another pile. Now this was the one, Championship Manager 93. Absolutely love this game. I probably owned about 40 copies of it. It's such a popular game. Absolutely loved it. Played it with all my mates. Not wasted. Just spent so many hours on that game. Ridiculous. And then we've got the update for it. Championship Manager 94. The update discs. Again, why is this so heavy? It's because what I do, I've got multiple copies in there. I've got about 9 discs in there. Because that's what I'll usually do. If I find loose discs, I'll always keep backups in there. And then we've got the more complete version. So I believe this is exactly the same as the white box, except for this was already all on the discs, so it wasn't an update, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then another one, I played this one a lot back in the day as well, the Italian version, Championship Manager Italia. Brilliant, what a series, absolutely brilliant series. And then the sequel to that one, Championship Manager Italia 95, which I never played this back in the day, and it's not that popular. It's not that. Well, I mean, it's not that. It's quite hard to get hold of. But again, it's one of. I think I must have got this probably about 3 or 4 months ago. It might have even been in a pickup video. And then the last one, Championship Manager 2. I always remember this. Was waiting months for it to come, no, like years for it to come out on the Amiga. I remember being back at school, kept seeing reviews for it, and it just took so long to come out. And by the time it did come out, I had a PC, and got it on there. But I always remember as well, like back at school, I wanted to borrow a game off a mate, and he wouldn't let me borrow it. He was like, "Look, if you've got nothing to lend me, then I'm not going to lend you my game." So I done a real naughty one. I said, well, I've got a copy of Championship Manager 2. I said, it's a bit intermittent. And he was like, yeah, go on then, I'll borrow that. So I literally went home and just wrote Championship Manager 2 on 3 blank discs. He weren't impressed. Bit naughty, that one. Then onto the smaller boxes. Again, another one of Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. Again, I'm not a huge one for variants, but if I do, like if I get them in bundles and stuff like that, I mean postage is a lot cheaper on these games as well. But Vindicators, I believe, only got a dual case release. Never played it, to be honest. And then we've got James Bond, Live and Let Die. Again, never played this one either. No, should check it out really. Never a huge James Bond fan. And then we've got a few compilations. I mean, I've literally just shown you all of the standalone games for these. So we've got Clax, APB, Robot Monsters again, Cyberborn, Vindicators. I do like the compilations, I really do. And then another compilation we've got is Superheroes. Now, not all of these are Domark Games. We've got Strider 2 on there. In fact, I don't even think I've ever played Strider 2. If it's anything like the first one's awful. Last Ninja, obviously that's System 3, but the Domark game on here is The Spy Who Loved Me, which is actually a standalone game I wouldn't mind getting, because I believe that's the best James Bond game on the Amiga. So I'll have to look out for that. And then this game that I dropped on the floor, and it's Wheels of Fire, which again, the only Domark game on there is Hard Driving, which I've got the full release of. In fact, I've got the full release of all of them games. So that's it. Yeah, what about 30 games there? Some absolute classics in there. Right, lastly, I want to talk about the games I still want to get under the Domark label. Definitely want to get the Star Wars trilogy, the standalone cases. I would love to get Wings of Fury, came in a box like this, and so did Shuttlepuck Cafe, which I don't think I've ever seen Wings of Fury. I know there's a couple of Shuttlepuck Cafes on eBay. I think one's like 100 quid and the other one's, I think there's a graded one on there that's like 250 quid or something like that. Pretty rare. I'd only heard Dad released them not too long ago. Would love to get Rampart, another arcade port, came in a box like this, the smaller boxes. And F1, the original F1. Other than that, I don't think. Oh, actually, Championship Manager. Apparently, there was a Norwegian version, which I find quite random, but I've never seen it. But I'd love to get that as well. But other than that, I think that's it. Take care, YouTube. Until next time.